Okay, so this lesson is on combining like terms, and I'm going to be using CLT, so I want you guys to know that CLT is an abbreviation for combine like terms. I also say collect like terms. Either one is fine. Okay, so here are the notes. When to combine like terms. You combine like terms when terms whose variables and their exponents are the same. So I wrote out two examples here and here, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So for example, the first one, it says 3x plus 2x. 3 plus 2 is 5, and you keep the x the same. So it's 3 x's plus 2 x's is a total of 5 x's, okay? Same thing with the second example, 2x squared plus 5x squared is 7x squared, because 2 plus 5 is 7, and you keep the x squared the same. So those are like terms, right? We could also have something like this. Example, I'm trying to write light, so I don't annoy anybody anymore. 2 plus 5 is 7, right? 2 and 5 are like terms. They don't have any x's. Okay, so all three of those are examples of like terms. Now, we're going to only talk about expressions in this lesson, so we're only really focused on A, but I'm going to give you some strategies for B as well, because we're going to be talking about equations next time. So remember, expressions have no equal sign. So for expressions, here's some strategies. You're going to underline or highlight the like terms and then combined. I just think that's easier if you don't have to if you don't want to, but I like to underline or highlight and then combined. Then you're going to use PEMDAS, and you don't always have to use this, but it will come in handy sometimes, and I'll explain that as well. And then for equations, equations have an equal sign. And if you can combine like terms on one side of an equal sign, you're going to do this first. So on the left-hand side of the equal sign, for example, if you can combine like terms, like if something like this, if you can combine like terms, do that first, and then we're going to solve for x or y or whatever the variable is. So when you're undoing an equation, you're going to do PEMDAS backwards. And this is what that means. When you're crossing the equal sign, first you're going to either subtract or add. Then you're going to either divide or multiply. Then you're going to worry about the exponents in the parentheses. And I'll explain that, but we're not going to do equations in this lesson. So next lesson, I'll explain that. So you don't even really need to worry about B right now, but I do want you to recognize that. So A, focus on A. So you're going to underline or highlight, you're going to combine, and you're also going to use PEMDAS if you can. Some examples that are not like terms, 5x and 6, we cannot combine those. 2x squared and 3x cannot do that. 4x squared and 7 can't do that. Okay, so let's go over these three examples. So in your notebook, it just says x, right? But I wrote 1x because there's a 1 in front of that x if there's nothing there. So we're going to combine 1x minus 3x, and 1x minus 3x is negative 2x. You're allowed to use a calculator if you need to. Actually, I encourage you to if you need to. And then you have 2 plus 5, and 2 plus 5 is 7. I really hope that you can't hear my pencil very much. And that's it. You can't combine negative 2x and 7. Those are not like terms. Just like we talked about down here, 5x and 6, all these are not like terms. You can't do anything else. That's it. Now for number 2, 3 minus x plus 2 plus 7x. We would always start with parentheses, but we cannot add x plus 2, so we look outside of the parentheses at this negative 1. And we're going to distribute that negative 1 inside. So I'm going to bring that 3 down, and then negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, plus 7x, and then now I can combine. So I have a negative 1x and I have a positive 7x. Always take the sign in front, by the way. Notice how I'm highlighting the sign in front as well. That is really important. So negative 1x plus 7x is 6x. And also put the x's first before the numbers. 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. Now, and that's all you can do. You can't add 6x plus 1. Do not forget to highlight the sign in front, because a lot of students will do this. They'll do this. They'll highlight 7x and then 1x, which is 8x, but it's not 8x because you have to take the sign in front. Okay, so make sure you highlight or underline that whole thing. All right, last one. Here we can't combine anything in the parentheses because one has an x and one is just a number. So we're going to distribute here and here. 6 times x is 6x, plus 6 times 4 is 24, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. And then now we can combine like terms. So we have 6x minus 4x, take the sign in front, which is 2x. And 24 minus 24 is 0. So our answer is 2x.